Bring in Mike DILanni, former Holy Spirit baseball player who's now a sophomore at Gwinnett Mercy and enjoying the life of a college baseball player. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Sully. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well.
How's the fastball these days?
It's going well. It's got some more life to it than usual, so it's always a good start for me.
Yeah, you're kind of getting into the heart of the college baseball season here. April, you got about 4 or 5 weeks to state your case as a playoff team. How are the Griffins doing?
We're actually doing really well. We're at 500 right now. We lost a tough game yesterday to Newman, but we'll be sure to come back tomorrow and take the series from them at home.
What's it like now? You're a sophomore. You've been in college baseball now for about a year and a half. How much different is it from high school baseball?
It's a lot different. The hitters are definitely better and stronger than high school hitters, and they're definitely more prepared, I guess. So you have to be, as a pitcher, more prepared to go out there and attack those hitters on a regular basis.
What's the preparation like in terms of the differences between high school and college? I mean, high school, you're maybe only pitching, 40, maybe 50 innings for the season. Here you've already got that many innings in, and you're only about halfway through the season. A little bit more of a grind, I would guess, right?
Yes, absolutely. It is a grind. I mean, it's just an everyday thing, and you have to be willing to do it every day. And if you're not willing to do it, then that's where it basically all begins. Is if you want to do it every day, you have to have the determination to do it and be able to come out every day and just work your tail off every day. And that's just an everyday thing. And it's not at the Division III level. It's not only at the E3 level; it's at any level.
How much have you learned about pitching in the last year and a half? I mean, in high school you can kind of get away with a good fastball, the occasional curve, but like you said, in college, you got to have a little bit more than just that to get by on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's definitely different, for sure. Just one of those things. You have to be ready to go and be prepared more. So.
What are the road trips like? I remember back in the day, you'd have 2-3 hour road trips and playing double headers, and it could turn out to be a pretty long day. You don't get back to campus sometimes till 11 o'clock at night, midnight, and then you got to get up the next day for an 8 o'clock class. It's a lot different lifestyle than maybe high school baseball players might think. Yeah,
the road trips are kind of fun. I mean, we sometimes they're long, and sometimes we just keep ourselves entertained. And it makes the bus ride go quicker. But most of them are like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, maybe. But especially our Maryland trip recently, we stayed down in Maryland, and we definitely kept ourselves entertained. It was definitely a fun trip.
What's the meal money like these days? I know back in the early '90s, we got about $4.25 for a meal.
Yeah. I mean, we got a few bucks here and there. Sometimes we have to pay with some of our own money, depending upon where we go.
How much do you keep track of the high school baseball? I know your boys from Spirit there. They won a state championship. You must have been a little miffed about that. You leave and they win a state title, right? You're 1 year too early.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for them. I mean, they're all working hard over there, and a few tough games here, but. I mean, I know they're working hard. I know they'll get going soon, for sure. I know how they are.
Now, your sister Steph, she's I guess she's a junior now, right?
Yes, she's a junior,
and she's on the crew team. You have any more respect for crew now?
I've always had respect for rowers, especially Spirit rowers. They're always up and up early in the morning, and I mean, rowers in general, it's definitely a tough sport.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. They're up at 5:30 in the morning. What about the baseball season when you guys get going? I know back in the day when I was at Pfeiffer University, we'd have some 2-a-days in January. You're in the gym from 5 to 7 a.m. Then you're going to class. You're back practice for the afternoon. What's that like? Just trying to get your body ready it can be tough over the winter to get those workouts in. And our coach used to always say, don't come back in January out of shape because he'll get you in shape.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you come back in January not ready to go, you're definitely going to feel it, especially the first week. It's mostly about just getting the winter workouts in and being ready for the start of the season, because in January it's almost like 3 weeks until our first game, or maybe even 4.
We're talking with Mike DILanni, former Holy Spirit star, who's now at Gwynedd Mercy, and sophomore up there. Mike, your first college experience, what was that like when you stepped on the mound? How nervous were you?
I was very nervous, actually. I was facing Salisbury, who was ranked at the time, and they're still ranked. And I was actually shaking when I was in the bullpen, so I was pretty nervous for sure. It's normal though for most pitchers.
Did you let up any big dingers your freshman year?
I let up a couple, but I mean, that's normal. I mean, if you haven't given up one yet, then you're probably lying.
That's a little bit different experience when a college guy goes yard on you, man. Those guys can hit.
Yes, they can. They're definitely stronger than most high school hitters.
How have you had to adapt your game in terms of a pitcher? Have you had to come up with another pitch, or have you had to perfect what you've been doing? How much has your game changed in the last 2 years from when you were a senior in high school?
It's changed a lot. I mean, I have to attack the zone more, and just challenge hitters. I mean, if you're as a pitcher, you got to challenge hitters and not be afraid to throw inside either, for sure. But I think my game has changed a lot, actually, in the past 2 years. I haven't really developed any other pitches, but I've just attacked the zone more and kept the ball down and just challenging hitters.
How much different do you feel this year? I know that first year can be kind of a whirlwind. You're trying to adapt not only to college baseball but to college life in general and all the demands on your time, and it can be a little overwhelming for a freshman. But how much more settled in do you feel now as a sophomore?
I feel a lot more settled in, honestly. I mean, freshman year it seems to always be the toughest year, but it depends, I guess, like on your work ethic and how you present yourself. But I mean, it's definitely a lot different than freshman year, for sure.
Now, a couple of Cal teams are former adversaries now, teammates. Christian Carmelingo of Prep, John Wallace of Mainland. What's it like playing with these guys who you spend most of your high school career playing against?
It's definitely nice to be around them. I mean, Christian's been a great captain, and I never really knew him as a player, but I knew of him and knew of his work ethic, and it's still actually the same, and it's actually gotten a lot better. He just never takes a rep off, and John, he's doing well. I mean, he's more of a DH type of hitter, but he's definitely working hard, and you definitely see that they're getting better.
Do you ever give him the business about when you hit Mainland?
Yes, I do. But he always comes back with the state championship comeback. So, I mean, that's always his comeback, and we always talk about it, though. I mean, it's good to talk about those memories.
Good stuff, Mike. We're up against the break. Got to let you go, but good luck the rest of the season, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Sully. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good weekend, bud.
All right, you too.
That was Mike DILanni, former Holy Spirit high school star, now at Gwynedd Mercy, and doing a great job for the Griffins up there.